unapeleka William Kalikona hadi Kakamata. Unapeleka William mtoto asiboi mbali. Ndio amepass na wakili.
Offense is accusation of proceed of crime that between 17th December and 27th June 2025 at the Nakuru County government within the Republic of Kenya, being an employee of county government, and also the other one being a director of Denken Building and Construction Limited, which is a liability company who acquired 69,110,334.85 cents from the county government of Nakuru, while knowing the said money formed part of crime, proceeds of crime made for 14 contracts awarded to Denken Building Construction on account of conflict of interest by Lorna Galumata. Lorna, is it true or not true?
It's not true.
Ken? Is it true or not true?
Not true.
Willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement, and this involved Daniel Wainaina, that on 19th November at Nakuru County, being a chief officer on the public health, you willfully failed to comply with the law related to procurement, that is section 135, subsection 3 of the Public Procurement and Asset and Disposal Act 2015 by failing to ensure that contracts were signed after the lapse of 14 days of notification of award in tender awarded to Denken Building and Construction Company to supply and deliver patient monitor at Rift Valley Provincial General Hospital. Daniel, is it true or not true? Engaging in corrupt practice in procurement processing, that on diverse date between 22nd May 2024 and 25th June 2025, being directors of medical services in the county government of Nakuru within the Republic of Kenya, you are engaged in corrupt practice in procurement proceeding of Nakuru County government by receiving a sum of shilling 107,000 from Ken Dubi Moredi, who is a director of Mrichaba Investment Limited and co-director of Windcom Solution Limited, that had been awarded a tender by the county government of Nakuru. Is it true or not true? Count 13 involves Kennedy Mongai engaging in corrupt practice in a procurement proceeding, that on diverse date between 26 June 2024 and 10th July 2025, being chief officer for environment, energy and climate change and natural resources in the county government of Nakuru in Republic of Kenya, you engage in a corrupt practice in procuring the process by unlawfully receiving a sum of 666,000 from Ken Dubi Muredi, who is a director of Denken Building and Construction Company. Kennedy, is it true or not true? Count 14. This involves Kiogora Muredi engaging in corrupt practice, that on diverse dates between 20th September 2020 and 6th July 2025, being an employee in the Nakuru County government, which is within the Republic of Kenya, you engage in corrupt practice in procurement process by unlawfully receiving a sum of shilling 197,500 from Ken Moredi, who was a director of Murichaba Investment Limited and Denken Building Construction Limited company that had entered into contract with the county government of Nakuru, thereby improperly influencing the procurement process. Kiogora, is it true or not true? Count 15 involves Jospat Kimemia engaging in corrupt practice in procurement proceeding, that on the diverse dates between 13th June and 9th August 2025, being a chief officer of youth and sport and gender and inclusivity within Nakuru County, you engage in corrupt practice of procurement process by unlawfully receiving a sum of shilling 61,500 from Ken Moredi, being a director of Denken Building and Construction Company, that had entered into a contract with the county government of Nakuru, thereby improperly influencing the procurement process. Josephat, is it true or not true? January 2024 and 16th May 2025, being a city manager in the county government of Nakuru, you engage in fraudulent practice in procurement process by unlawfully receiving a sum of 50,000 from Ken Moreidi, who is a director of Denken Building and Construction Limited Company that had entered into contract with the county government of Nakuru by improperly influencing the procurement process. Gitau, is it true or not true? Count number 17. This involves Solomon Sirma engaging in corrupt practice that on diverse dates between 30th December 2020 and 9th April 2025, being a chief officer of health within Nakuru County, you engaged in fraudulent practice in procurement process by unlawfully receiving a sum of shilling 187,000 from Ken Moreidi, who was a director of Murichaba Investment Limited and co-director of Windcom Solution Limited, and entered into contract with the county government of Nakuru, thereby improperly influencing the procurement process. Solomon, is it true or not true? Count number 18, and that this involves Ken Moreidi and the company that is Denken, engaging in fraudulent practices that on diverse dates in the year 2021 and 2025, being directors of Denken Building and Construction Limited, you engage in fraudulent practice by submitting false documents, that is your CV, academic certificate, lease agreement submitted in support of your bid for in respect to 14 tenders, project for Nakuru County Government. Ken, is it true or not true?
Not true.
On the same breath, is it true or not true on behalf of the company?
Not true.
Count number 19. This involves Kiogora Moreidi, willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement that on diverse dates between the year 2020 and 2025 at Nakuru County within the Republic of Kenya, being a director of health, you willfully failed to comply with the law relating to procurement and Public Disposal Act by failing to ensure that a contract was signed after the lapse of 14 days in the tender awarded to Denken Building and Construction Company for proposed desilting and fencing and embankment construction of Kettle through communal water point and spillway construction at Geturo Dam, Biashara Ward, and Naivasha Sub-County. Is it true or not true?
They fully cooperated with the investigators during the investigations by availing themselves and recording their statements. Well, as Your Honor, again, to some, the figures may sound very big. To others, it's a very paltry amount. Therefore, I would say, may you ask Your Honor, as you consider the bond terms, you also consider what some of them are charged with. So we will not give blanket bond terms. And Your Honor, this has been the practice that you need to consider what they are accused of acquiring. Therefore, we pray you release them on reasonable bond term with an alternative of a cash bill. In fact, I was saying, even if they had been called, they would have presented themselves to this court to take plea. If they had been told, just appear in court and take a plea. They have no intention whatsoever of absconding. That's all.
Bond for A1, A2, and A3. That is Lona Karamuta Mubichi, Kenneth Muridhi Ndubi, and Brian Mwenda. Bond is set at Kenya shillings 1 million plus one short in like amount, or cash bail Kenya shillings 500,000 plus 2 contact persons. In addition, they shall deposit their passports in court and shall be required to report to the EACC regional office, Nakuru, once every fortnight, beginning 14th of August 2026 until ordered otherwise. A4, Daniel Wainaina Ndungu. A5, Kennedy Mungai Baraza. A6, Timothy Kiogora Murithi. A7, Josephat Kimemia. A8, Peter Gitau Zabanja. And A9, Solomon Sirma. Bond is set at shillings 500,000 plus one surety in like amount, or cash bail shillings 200,000, and one contact person each. For the record, there will be no requirement for them to report. A10, A11, and A12, free bond, since the directors are here. Witness statements, documents to be used in evidence, and charge sheet be supplied to the defense. Matter is set for pretrial conference on 2nd of September 2026 here in court number 1. We prefer counsels that you come physically.
My learned colleague, Mr. Kenneth Kimathi, part of the defense team, as I've said. Will be the vote which will be given for them will always be appearing. We pray that you don't give us a
First and second. Without my permission. That's all. Right.